In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to take that image that we brought into Illustrator, and I'm going to show you how to live trace it, which is a very quick way of turning an image that you pull offline or something that you've hand drawn and scanned in to sketching it out using the image trace. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to select our image. I'm going to show you, there's two different ways you can really do this, but if you go up to Object, and you go down to image trace, you want to go to make and expand, because if you just do make, it will trace out the image, but you'll notice it still is kind of like an image itself. So if you go up here to object and you go down to make and expand, it will turn it into an actual vector graphics. Now you'll notice it's not a perfect copy. So I will make a copy and show you what it looks like. So object, image trace, make and expand. So you'll see it's a little bit off, a little bit different, but for the most part, this one works really well. So now you're left with this image in this white box. And so what I normally do is I will take the direct selection tool, select the white box, and hit the backspace button to delete the white box. That way I have an image like this. Now, if you ungroup it, you will see that you have your outline, your nose, your face. And so depending on, what you have going on, you can click this outline and we can change the color to like blue. We can change the inside of the face to, I don't know, something crazy like green. So you can go in here and you can change a lot of different parts of this, okay? So it really just depends on what you want to do. And you can select it all and right click and group again, so it's just easier to move around. Hold down shift to shrink it down. So this is something that you can easily do. You can find a simple drawing online and then just do the image trace for your flyer. Now let's say you bring in a little bit more complicated image like this one. You can go up to object, go down to, I'm going to make a copy of it real quick so we can see the original. Okay, click on it, object, image trace, make and expand. Now you'll notice that it did an okay job. You'll notice the letters are a little messed up. The star is obviously pretty messed up. The faces look pretty good, but the word drama and the star is obviously really messed up. So you would want to do the same thing with this one. Get rid of the white box around it. But it's not the greatest copy, but it's okay. Now, let's say you bring in a pretty complicated image. So I have one here that's got quite a few, and it's pretty small. So if I do the same thing, object, image trace, make and expand, you will notice certain things got really messed up. So the little harp here with the cloth looks good, the mask looks good, the music notes look okay, the masks look okay. The dancer looks pretty good, except for you'll notice her hand looks a little messed up. You lose some detail in certain things. But if we look at the actual spotlights, the actual spotlight itself is gone. So certain things do have a tendency to get a little messed up. All of these have been pretty decent images. But let's say you bring in something that's really crazy, like this one. So let's say I bring this one in. I'll make a copy of it. I'm going to image trace this one. Watch what happens when we do an image trace on this one. It gets super messed up. It doesn't look anything like your original. So for the most part, these ones work pretty well. You probably want to delete the star on this one. You could probably use the lights on this one, but not the spotlight part of it. And then you can go in here and ungroup it, and you can move these parts around. And you'll notice there's always going to be like some weird outlines, but you can kind of use these different things in your poster however you want. But this one here is pretty messed up. You're not going to be able to use this. This is just really messed up. So if you have something like this, you're going to have to hand trace it. And basically what that means is you're going to want to do a little bit series of steps here. You're going to create a new layer. The layer that has your image on it, you're going to want to lock it so you can't move it around. Then you're going to zoom in and you're going to take your pen tool and you're going to actually start tracing. Now this is where it gets kind of tedious. So you would have to pretty much trace every part of this drawing. So as you can imagine, this does take time. However, it is the best way to get a lot of detail and to really get the entire image the exact way you want it. So I would go in here and I would trace the whole mask out, put the lines in for the eyebrows, the nose, the mouth, all of that. Okay, it does take some effort, but this is probably the better way to go because you can have every aspect of your image where you could change it and really edit it. The image trace is quick, but it does limit you to certain things. But you know, it is something quick, and if it does a pretty nice job, I wouldn't waste my time hand tracing it. But if it really does a horrible job like this one here, you're going to want to hand trace it. So for your flyer, you're going to have one image on there that's image traced and one that you're hand draw with the pen tool. So make sure you have at least 2 images on your flyer. If you choose to do more than 2 images, the rest of the images you can do them in any way you want, either hand trace with the pen tool or using the live trace option. So it's completely up to you. Another thing that a lot of people don't think about when they're doing their flyers is how do you put a color in the background? And that's pretty easy. I want to unlock this layer here, move this out of the way. So let's say this is your flyer. If you want a color in the background, you just create a rectangle and you pick whatever color you want. So say I want to go with a blue. Now, a lot of times people will create the color in the background and they go to move an image on it, and you'll notice that the image is behind it. You need to make sure your layers are in order. So your background should always be on the lower layer. So what you do, if you click on your background, you'll notice that there's a little box right here that's lit up. That means that I'm selected on that object. If you just click and drag that down, it will move it to this layer. Now, if it's still not in the area or the spot that you want, you can open up your entire layer panels, which sometimes can get a little crazy, or you can click on it, then right click and go to arrange and send to back, and it will move it all the way to the bottom. And then you can add your different objects around. So remember, you are doing a flyer, so it should have some nice images, some nice text. And I'm going to show you guys some cool things with text in the next video. So just have fun with it.